And of course, there was a little mini saga of Birmingham, but in the end, he's chosen Ipswich Town. Obviously, Birmingham were hijacking moves, and Ipswich hijacked it. Then they tried to hijack it again. But just from the outside looking in, Craig, Ipswich Town bringing Chuba Akpom. Your thoughts on the move?
Yeah, so I think it looks on paper like it could be an excellent signing for Ipswich. I mean, Chuba Akpom is someone who he's always naturally been a centre forward, a number 9, but actually at Middlesbrough into that season when he scored the 29 goals, the irony was that he actually played a little deeper in the number 10 role, and he was absolutely fantastic for Middlesbrough that season. Obviously, you get 28 league goals and then one in the FA Cup. Obviously, that's a big factor in why you are so popular and why you are so important to the team. The goals were undoubtedly massive, but Michael Carrick always made the point, and he was right, that he was so much more than the goals that he was scoring for Middlesbrough. He was essentially the link player between midfield and attack. He'd drop into that hole in between midfield and attack, and he was just the player that hit every time. It wasn't long balls, it was balls into feet, but his strength in holding off defenders, his ability to turn and then lay the ball out wide before then quickly darting into the box, it was such a key way in the way that Middlesbrough played and opened teams up that season. If you look, if you go back and watch some of his goals, I know you've mentioned off camera you've done that. I mean, so many of his goals came from crosses from out wide and then him arriving in the box at the right time to either header or volley home. And, a big factor in that is the fact that because he was playing that 10 role, defenders were naturally more focused on the number 9 who was in or around the box already. And Chuba was then just allowed to kind of roam into the box and pick his time, in which he was very good at, to get on the end of the crosses. But quite often, whether or not the highlights show that, go that far back into the move, he would start the move off, as I say, with that kind of back to goal hold up play. He was so good at that under Michael Carrick, and the goals were obviously massive for Middlesbrough, but so much of Middlesbrough's positive attacking play went through him too.
And it was sort of nice for him, I'm sure, for his career, because he had a bit of a nomad sort of loan spell when he was at Arsenal, went and spent loads of times out on loan in the Football League, then obviously went to Greece and then came to Borough. Can you remember when he sort of signed originally? Because he didn't actually play, did he? He played a few games and then he went out on loan to Greece again and then came back and of course scored those goals in Championship, winning the Golden Boot.
Yeah, so that was the interesting thing with Chuba Akpom, and his time at Middlesbrough. He was there for 3 years, but it was only actually that third and final season where it really took off for him. He signed in the COVID season, the one behind closed doors, under Neil Warnock, and he had a good start. I think he maybe scored 3 or 4 goals in the kind of his first few games. A really good start, but it kind of quickly became apparent that Neil Warnock didn't really fancy him that much, and he wasn't kind of suited to the Neil Warnock style of play. Really, he's admitted that himself, that he couldn't really connect with that style of football, and he really struggled under it. And as you say, from then he became quite a bit part player really, and that summer was then loaned out to back to PAOK, who Borough had signed him from. He went back there. Did quite well. When he returned to Borough, Chris Wilder was by this point the manager at Middlesbrough, but still, when he returned to Middlesbrough for the start of pre-season, very much like what's happened at Ajax this summer, he was told to go and train with the under-21s, and he wasn't in Chris Wilder's plans at all. It just so happened that summer that Middlesbrough was struggling to get a centre forward through the door. And as a very late decision, Akpom had kind of got his head down, worked hard, and just got on with things in the under-21s while looking for a move. And Middlesbrough struggles to get a striker in meant he was drafted back in, and very, very shortly after, Chris Wilder was replaced by Michael Carrick, and it all kind of clicked into place for him there, and he went on that incredible run. So really kind of strange period really in terms of that 3 years at Middlesbrough, but certainly fondly remembered for that one season where he showed his kind of true potential.